Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's my brethren all around the world watching this video? Hope you're having a great day today. As you're tuning in, do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button down below, and surely you will not be disappointed. Make sure you also click that bell notification so you get all the alerts and you won't miss a thing here on True School Sports. Because we have, anytime I get on this camera, straight up, anytime I get on this camera, it's box office. No, not to toot my own horn, but it is box office stuff. Okay, we've been grinding steadily here on the YTBC for a couple years now, and I would say we've been doing a pretty good job. So, it is what it is. But I wanted to talk about Jermell Charlo, the other Charlo, the less skilled Charlo. I wanted to call a spade because that's what I specialize here on True School Sports. Whether you like it or not, I call it how I see it. Jermell Charlo, I've always maintained the belief. You can go back to any of my Charlo videos where I mentioned both of them in the same video. And I've always said I think Jermell Charlo is the less skilled of the two fighters. I don't think he's that good. I think he's not a complete fighter. And I've been thinking for a while now that he was due for a loss. And to be fair, I didn't score the entire fight. Like, we were live on YouTube. Me, my boy Alex, and my dad was there as well. I was live on YouTube doing the live fight reaction. We had a blast. It was fun. So after about the sixth round, I stopped scoring it. But I remember through the sixth round, I had Tony Harrison up 4-2. And I thought Tony Harrison was doing a remarkable job outboxing him, using his jab to control the fight. It was a frustrating fight to watch because Tony Harrison was extremely patient. But he wasn't throwing a lot of punches. But when he was throwing punches, they were landing. He was very economical with his work. Jermell Charlo was pressing the action, but he wasn't landing a lot of the shots he was throwing. And Tony Harrison showed good defense, but he was more active. So I could see where people think he won the fight. He outworked Tony Harrison, things like that. It was a frustrating fight to watch. But I know for a fact that I had Tony Harrison up 4-2 after 6 rounds. And I know that he probably did win at least 3 more rounds after that. If I would have scored it, he probably won 3 more rounds after that. So I wasn't incredibly mad about the judge's decision. I was a bit shocked. I didn't think that Jermell Charlo would be getting a decision to go against him in what I thought was a close fight on a big PBC on Fox card. I didn't think that would happen, but it was due to happen, because you got and the more you look at Jermell Charlo's career, right? Like, the more you look at his career, and you had to look at the totality of his career, right? He is someone, right? So Jermell Charlo, ever since he hooked up with Derrick James, basically, he's someone that, starting from the John Jackson fight going up to now, he's been getting KOs. His power has been able to get him through a lot of these fights. So he stopped John Jackson, he stopped Charles Hadley, he stopped Eric Salubin, and he hasn't just been stopping these guys. He's been doing it in devastating fashion. And this is a guy in Jermell Charlo who, if you go look at his career, he has not ever been a big puncher, but he has been earning the reputation of being a big puncher ever since he hooked up with Derrick James. So I think this was a classic case of a guy who started to believe in his own hype. He really believed in his own power. And what he was doing when he fought Tony Harrison was he was headhunting him constantly, just headhunting, throwing only punches to the head, becoming very predictable with his punch selection. And while Tony Harrison he's never been known for having a great stamina or a great work rate throughout the course of a 12-round fight, especially at the top level. What he was able to do in this fight, whether you think he won or lost, what he was able to execute and do well was he was able to control the pace of the fight with his jab. And because of that, he was able to work comfortably for the whole entire fight. And Jermell Charlo was rendered ineffective. So this wasn't a surprise because if you look at the totality of Jermell Charlo's career, he fought Austin Trout, a guy that was a good experienced fighter. He didn't stop Austin Trout, in that fight. Prior to hooking up with Derrick James, he had fought the likes of, Gabriel Rosado. Gabriel Rosado, a good, skilled, fringe journeyman / fringe contender type fighter. Rosado has been stopped by 4 fighters. I know Rosado has been stopped by Golovkin, Lemieux. He's been stopped by, Peter Quillen. He's been stopped by Alfredo Angulo. Most of those guys I named are like truly elite punchers. Like Peter Quillen, very good puncher. Gennady Golovkin, very good puncher. David Lemieux, amazing puncher. These guys have fight-changing power, and they've showed it in almost every scenario in their career. Jermell Charlo did not stop Gabe Rosado. Okay, so not to slight Gabe Rosado, but I'm saying if you can't stop the Gabe Rosado, you don't really have truly elite punching power. Same thing when he fought Deshaun Johnson, another tough journeyman top fighter. Deshaun Johnson's had over 50 fights in the professional ranks. Only he's had 23 losses, but only 4 fighters have stopped him. And those 4 fighters, are guys like Jalen Love. I don't hold that one against Deshaun too much because Deshaun has fought so many times that I think he's kind of a shot fighter. But he's been stopped by Jalen Love. He's been stopped by Darian Panchenko. Those are recent stoppages. But like early in his career, the only guys that really stopped Deshaun Johnson early on were guys like what's his name? Julian Williams stopped him early in his career. You had someone like where is it? Jalen Love. 3. I only see 3. Why are there only 3 stoppages here? 1, 2. Julian Williams. Oh, hold on. Okay. So the only top level fighter who's really stopped Jalen Love is like Julian Williams, and Julian Williams is he punches with his really good hand speed. He's not really known as a puncher, but what he does have is blistering fast hand speed for the weight class. So I could see where he stopped him. So Jermell Charlo has never shown himself to really stop, guys he should be stopping if he had that truly fight changing power. So it wasn't a surprise that when he ran into a good, well schooled, patient boxer like Tony Harrison that he was going to struggle. I've been saying for a while I thought Tony Harrison was a live dog in this fight, and he was more than a live dog in this fight, and he wound up taking the world title from him. Now, is it a robbery? Absolutely not. It's not a robbery, because if it were a robbery, then what you would be implying if it was a robbery is that Jermell Charlo was not only doing good work, but that he was doing, exemplary work, good, above average work as a fighter with the punches he was landing. And that is just not true, because a lot of these punches he was throwing, these hooks, these jabs, they look good. They were eye-catching shots, but a lot of them are hitting Tony Harrison's glove. A lot of them he's getting countered with jabs. So Jermell Charlo is a classic case of a fighter believing in his own hype way too much, thinking that he really is unbeatable, not keeping his feet squarely on the ground and staying humble as a fighter, and it has cost him dearly. And now, instead of us talking about Jermell Charlo pushing on towards a big, massive unification fight with Jarrett Hurd, now we're talking about Jarrett Hurd fighting Tony Harrison in a rematch in a unification fight. And now Jermell Charlo might get frozen out and might have to work his way back up. So ain't that crazy how boxing, much like life, has a way of humbling certain people. So wasn't really ever impressed with Jermell Charlo. I think he's a good fighter. He's a complete fighter. He's a great fighter. No, never thought that. I think he's someone that just believed in his power way too much, when in actuality, and truthfully speaking, if we look at the guys he's knocked out, and I don't want to discredit him, because people weren't always saying these things before his fights. But the reality is, he stopped John Jackson, Charles Hadley, and Erickson Lubin back to back. Okay, good wins. We take nothing away from him in those fights. But in the case of John Jackson, right? John Jackson is a guy that was outboxing, that was severely outboxing Jermell Charlo. Like, he was outboxing him. Not really known for boxing, but he was outboxing Jermell Charlo. He had only had one really big fight before he fought Jermell Charlo, and that came in the form of fighting Andy Lee. And Andy Lee has fight-changing power, so you can't really hold that against John Jackson. But he has developed a reputation in his career for being a chinny fighter, the same way his dad was. Julian Jackson was a chinny fighter, as most punchers tend to be. So that wasn't a surprise when he stopped John Jackson. Then he fought Charles Hadley coming off of a layoff. Charles Hadley had him in the ring for quite a long time. It was a year and a half, because he fought in Anthony Mundine in November 2015, and then he fought Jermell Charlo in April of 2017. So a whole year and some change before he fought Charles Hadley. Charles Hadley never had a reputation for being a good pro, above average pro. He was a guy that was a fantastic standout amateur, as many of these fighters who have fought him will tell you. He was a fantastic amateur, but he never really developed into a good pro. And this is also the same Charles Hadley who got stopped by the likes of Leonardo Tyner. So he didn't have a reputation of having a big chin or anything like that, or someone that could last in the big fight. So it was what it was there. And then when he fought Erickson Lubin, I'm not gonna take this victory away from him, because I'll raise my hand and say, look, I picked Erickson Lubin to win the fight. I overrated him. And actually, I've had a chance to actually get to know Erickson Lubin very vaguely, through our interactions on Instagram and at fights here in South Florida. And I'll say it straight up, man. Erickson Lubin's a punk. The dude's a punk. The dude has a midget mentality when it comes to being great in boxing. And it was exposed more than ever when he fought Jermell Charlo, straight up and down on special effects. He was exposed, not as a fighter. As a fighter, I think he has incredible talent. I think he could be a world champion. But until he fixes what's going on up here, I don't think he's going to be challenged for world titles. And he was exposed in that Charlo fight. So, the 3 guys he stopped were truly nothing like special. Even in the fights that he was winning and he was stopping these guys, he did leave some things to be desired. So for Jermell Charlo, I think this is a great time for his career because he's now gotten a taste of humble pie. He has a chance to now like make the necessary adjustments as a fighter to become better. And now I think is where his career really starts, because any fighter can be confident when they have that O on the record, or they haven't lost a fight, or they haven't been outboxed before. But now he's been outboxed. He's lost his title. He's lost his O. He's lost that aura of invincibility. Even when he talks trash, it don't have the same effect he used to have, because he's lost straight up and down. He lost, and now he can really show how tough he is, how good he is, how much of a lion he really is. Because anybody can be a lion when they're knocking out the John Jacksons and Charles Hadleys of the world. But now that you've been outboxed, you're going to have to either go fight Tony Harrison again. And now Tony Harrison's got 12 rounds against you, and he had a successful 12 rounds against you. So I think he'll be better suited in the rematch to beat you. I never thought you were going to beat Jarrett Hurd. Are you going to go fight Jaime Munguia, the same Jaime Munguia that you called a kid, and you called yourself a prestigious champion? You put yourself here and you put him down here. You're not going to fight Munguia. So Jermell Charlo has a tough road back to becoming a world champion again. But I look forward to seeing if he can make the necessary adjustments. And you know what's funny? I wouldn't mind seeing him fight rematching Erickson Lubin, because they both lost. They both got L's. They both have shown themselves not to be as good as advertised, and they should go see if I think that would be a good crossroads fight sometime in 2019. So Al Heyman should make that one happen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about maybe Jermell Charlo's career, or maybe a Jermell Charlo Erickson Lubin rematch, because I think that'd be pretty good for 2019. But yeah, leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, like I say in every single video. You can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from DIDN. So until next time, take care, guys.